Good morning. Once again, my name is Olivia Hinojosa. I teach ninth grade English at T-STEM High School. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about a website called ClassroomScreen. It is an all-in-one tool for creating an engaging learning environment in your classroom. And you can use this tool for everything from classroom management, little strategies to keep kids on task, to direct teaching. And so me personally, I started with ClassroomScreen right at the beginning of the year. I learned about it in one of my ACT RGB trainings, and I used it on a daily basis, just creating a brand new screen for my kids to come into my classroom and just have something engaging ready for them. And eventually, by January, I decided I wanted to pay for the full version, which I'm going to get into all the details about the free and the paid version of ClassroomScreen. But it's something that I use in my classroom every day, something that my kids are used to responding to. If I put a prompt up there, if I put an announcement up there, or any type of win for my students or myself, it's just a really great way to engage your class on a daily basis. So, our objectives for today. We're going to go over how ClassroomScreen works as an online display board that utilizes several different widgets that help you build lessons and simplify classroom management. So, like I said, and kind of like the title says of this session, you can kind of break up your widgets into like direct teaching tools and classroom management tools. And I personally love the classroom management tools because, in high school, it's a little harder to get routines and procedures in the classroom that the kids are not too embarrassed to follow. I can't do all eyes on me, and my students won't say all eyes on you. They get all quiet. So it's nice to have these tools kind of displayed at the front of my class that just assist me with keeping my students on task and on track with our lesson. We're also going to talk about the difference between the free and the paid version. I am not sponsored by ClassroomScreen. I just really believe that it's helped me. Last year was my first year teaching with PSJA, so it really helped me feel comfortable in the classroom, feel like I had all my lessons and all of my tools all in one place, and I wasn't, worrying too much about moving different screens or not having my videos and my websites ready for when my lessons get to that point. So I'm not here to sell it to you. The free version is just as good as the paid version, but in my experience, it was worth it because I used it every day. We're also going to talk about the process of creating a screen in your classroom. And so I'm going to take you from like the very first homepage to logging in, getting your first screen ready, and then what it looks like on a day-to-day basis creating that. I'll go ahead and talk about all the different widgets and features of this tool, and there's tons. The great thing about this website is that the free and the paid version actually offer all the same tools. It's just a couple of other things like saving your pages and maybe your class lists on the website that come with the paid version. And I'm also going to talk about throughout the lesson how this tool is going to be used for direct instruction and classroom management. And so I kind of split up my presentation today with those two categories because it's just something that we need, that is necessary on a day-to-day basis. We need, help with our classroom management, and anything that can make, my hour and a half class go as smooth as possible, I'm going to use it. And then I'll go ahead and round it up with just the support that's offered online. Their website is very user friendly. Any question you might have about it, they have it answered, and they have tutorials, they have videos, and they even have a help desk where you can log in a little ticket, a question, and they'll get right back to you. So it's a really awesome tool that I'm really excited to show you all. So what am I talking about? What does this look like? This is an example of a classroom screen that I had around April. So this is what my students would see posted on the big screen in the front of my class as they're walking in. So as you can see, I have the dates for enrichment camp that were coming up. I have a countdown going on leading up to the STAR test. And actually, within the time that I created this around July, or actually June, ClassroomScreen rolled out a couple more widgets that would actually make this an even more efficient page. So I'll go ahead and go over that in a few minutes. But as you can see, I have some announcements on here. So on the days that maybe I gave them a reading or they had some homework that I might give them the first couple of minutes of class to work on. Instead of getting a do now done, I'll just have my announcements up. And that way students are, you know, up to date on what's going on in the class, what's going on around campus. And it kind of helps start the lesson and really takes away the time that I take to do announcements. It kind of previews the announcements for them. That way I can just get through them quickly. And it's all kind of in one page. And you don't get just one page, you do get to create several, but I just wanted to give you guys just a glimpse of what it looks like before we jump on to ClassroomScreen. And this is a quote directly from the website. It's an online whiteboard that just keeps the class on task. It is as simple as that. It is just like the whiteboard you have in the back, but it comes with all these online electronic tools that just make everything so easy for you. And then at the end, I'll come back to these helpful links. But for now, let me go ahead and make sure there's no questions or anything so far. Alrighty, so I'm going to jump on to ClassroomScreen. So this is, let me make sure everyone can see my Chrome page, correct? Could I just get like a thumbs up in the chat or something if you can see my Google Chrome page? Let's see. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Martinez. And then I think someone is waiting to be let in. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the page you're going to see when you type in classroomscreen.com on your URL box up there. And it's an interactive front page. This is something new. You can move it around and it kind of gives you a glimpse of what you're going to work with once you get into ClassroomScreen. I feel like the music is a little distracting to me. I'm sorry about that. Okay, here we are. So, like I said, there is a free version and a paid version, and I've been thinking about how to introduce. I didn't know if I should start with the free version or just show you all of the features of the paid version, but I'm just going to kind of embed it throughout the presentation so you guys can just see both. So on one screen, I will have my personal ClassroomScreen account logged in, but on this screen that you're seeing right now, I'm not logged in, and I'm going to use my PSJA email so that you can see what the free version looks like first. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Try for Free tab, and it's going to go ahead and open up a fresh blank page. And so on a daily basis, you can jump on ClassroomScreen, try it for free, get on for free, and just create like a welcome page for your students. Or maybe you want to create, a prompt for them to come into. So before we start getting into the widgets, I'm going to go home really fast so you can see what the interface kind of looks like of a free version of like your home place. So there's really nothing saved here. You're going to see your screen that you were just on. And you can go ahead and customize that. You can create more screens. You can add a collection. You can make several screens for the whole day. However, with the free version, as soon as you click out of this page, you are no longer going to have those screens saved. Okay. So what if you want to create an account, and even if you don't want to pay for it, you still want to have an account just so you can have an easy setup, an easy login. You can always log in with your, oh, I thought it was already done, with your PSJA email. Nope, it's really easy with the Google and with Microsoft, and there you are. It's the same homepage. You're still not going to be able to save any of your pages, but you still get all the features that the tool has to offer. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on a brand new page just to show you a couple of the widgets, and then I will also show you the paid version and just what it looks like when you can save them and the other features that it offers. So here it is. This is what you're displaying in the front of your classroom. So I usually like to go straight to the background. And I like a simple background. My students really enjoy like the funny animal ones, but as long as I have a nice blank space to put any ideas, any prompts, any announcements, it works for me. Me personally, I like to go just to the plain colors because I just feel like it maximizes the space that I can use. And they have a lot of really cute colors. There's not a lot of customization when it comes to the colors, but they do offer a lot of Very nice selection. And the pictures here are these that are here have been here the whole time I've been using it. The ones that you'll see change and come and go are the ones here at the very top. And as you see right now, they have a couple cute back to school selections that you can use, you know, to greet your students as they're coming in on that first day. So for me, I'm just going to go back to just like a blank color, just so you guys can see all the cool tools that it offers. So like I said, I'm going to go through the widgets in kind of two ways. The first one I want to cover is direct teaching. So how can these tools help you with building your lesson and just kind of getting your all of your videos, your links, your text, everything that you need to display to the students all in one space. So what I'm going to start with is the image. Okay, so in ClassroomScreen, you can put any type of image. Let's say you're reading Romeo and Juliet. You can access your files. It's very simple. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly because a lot of them are very simple to use, very self-explanatory. You would just click upload your file from your files, and it's going to take you to your desktop where you have your images saved. Another thing you can, once you put a widget up, you're going to be able to open the settings, and all the different ways you can customize the widget are going to show up here on the side. If you click this three little dot button here, there's going to be a couple more settings you have just about moving the widget. You can open up the settings from here as well. You can copy the widget so that you have duplicates, and then you can paste it with your keyboard or by side clicking. This button will delete it. You can spotlight it, which will blow it up and darken the background so that that widget is open. And this is pretty much standard for all of the widgets. Bring to the front, lock in position. So let me just give you an example of what it looks like. I'm sure I can find a quick picture. Oh, look, I'll show the technology conference background. And so it's as easy as uploading it. You can move it around your screen. And then if you want to lock it into position, you can leave it there and it's not going to move. And that way you can stack things on top of it if you want to overlap. And it's really helpful just for displaying any type of images or content you want to show your students that you can upload directly from your files. Alrighty, so that is for the image button. Next, I'm going to open up the text widget. Okay, so this is where you can engage your students by, you know, for any English teachers, putting a prompt up here, a quote. But for our math and science teachers, there's also buttons here in which you can enter like formulas and exponents and all of that really good stuff. So it's really helpful for any type of content you're trying to display. I love it for do nows. I will typically go ahead and put journal prompt. And then I'll just write down a journal. And my students know that every day they come in, they grab their journal from the cabinet, and they look up to my classroom screen to see what the journal prompt is for today. And so this widget also has a lot of really customizable features. So if you go to the settings, you're going to obviously be able to change the fonts. And so there's a bunch of fun different fonts here available. You can also change the font size to meet like the needs of your classroom. If you have bigger classrooms, if you have a lot of kids sitting in the back, you know, you need them to see. I always had that issue. And the great thing is you can make it even bigger by blowing up your text box here. Down here, you can mess with the color themes. And so if you're like me, I love to make my classroom screen really colorful so that it draws a lot of attention for my students. And so you can choose through all of these. And I believe your custom color themes, you can create them. Oh, before I thought you could create them with the free one, but I guess now to customize your color themes, you do need to pay for the full version. But nonetheless, there's a lot of really fun options that go with all of the themes. Like I've pretty much used all of the screens that are available there, and it's really neat. And you can even do a clear background with black font or with white font. And so it's really customizable in that sense. You can also customize the the font color and highlight as well. And so a lot of the same features you'll see like on Google Documents or Microsoft Word that kind of just help bring a lot of attention to your screen. All right, so that is the text box. Let me make sure I don't have any questions right now. And of course, I'll look throughout, but if y'all want to put the little hand raise when you have a question or anything like that, so I can slow down if I'm going too quickly. But let me go ahead and pull that back up. Okay, so that was the text box. This is the one I use the most, and I just love how much you can customize it. And you can add multiple. So, you know, you want to put maybe the journal prompt here, but then you also want to write an announcement or pose a question or, you know, any other text you want to put up here. There is no limit in how many widgets you can put at a time. It's just, it does get a little cluttered. The beautiful thing is, once you feel like you have a little too much going on, you can just click the little plus sign here at the bottom and add yourself a brand new page. And so there also is no limit to how many pages that I've seen so far. I have some that I use for like the whole week or the whole month that I just like to be able to shuffle around through. It's a lot easier for me that way. And it kind of saves it all in the same place, and you can customize them all as you go. So here I'm going to do like a little pink background, and I'm going to keep showing you guys what it has to offer here. So this one is the drawing tool. It's very self-explanatory. You know, I like to use this when my kids have a little free time, like right before the bell rings, when they're all antsy and ready to leave. I'll let them go up there and, you know, play a little game of tic-tac-toe or you know, get creative. My kids love writing on the whiteboard, and so this is something I use to incentivize, like, you know what, if we have 5 minutes at the end, you can have the front and back whiteboards, and, you know, it just, they can use that little interactive pen that comes with our interactive screen in the front, and, you know, it's really fun. It's also probably really great for, you know, your math classes, I'm sure art classes. And so just like the text tool, you have a lot of different customizations here. You can make it a line paper, graph paper. This is great for, you know, little ones who are, you know, practicing their penmanship, practicing their letters. It's very interactive. We have the clocks here. So there's a lot of different backgrounds that they offer, you know, in the free version. And this is something you can use on a daily basis. This is something you can also customize. So let's say I wanted this background. Let me clear the canvas. Okay, so the customizations do kind of stay on the clear background, and I'm sure it's just for like efficiency to make sure it doesn't get too hard to read and stuff like that. And again, you can customize themes with the paid version, which I'll go over how that looks in just a sec. So yeah, this is another really helpful widget. I don't use this one quite as often as my text one, but my kids do love it for that incentive. Alrighty. Again, I'm just going through the ones that I like for direct teaching. I'm going to go through all of them today, but kind of the ones I'm skipping over, I like them more for classroom management. So I'm going to head over to the calendar here. This one's really great for announcements, for that first screen, maybe as they're walking in the class, if you have any announcements or any important dates due, it's good to have kind of a visual of when those dates are coming up. I use this one quite often as well. These are also customizable, so all you have to do is click these 3 little dots and the settings pop right up. And so you customize the color. You can customize if the week starts on a Sunday or a Monday, whatever you think is more you know, efficient for your students, and it can kind of sit there. And like I said, there's no limit to how many widgets you put on there at a time, but you know, I like to keep it neat so that my students don't get overwhelmed with the amount of information, because I'm sure, you know, all of these trainings that we're going through, all of these sessions, it's information overload sometimes. So it's nice to at least have a clear and a organized space on your screen so your kids can have all that information for them. The next one I'm going to show you is an embed link. Okay, so this one I use a lot as well. The only thing is that it is kind of a hit or miss if certain websites don't allow for the hyperlinks to like embed so seamlessly. But luckily our technology conference does. So I tried it with our technology conference link, and all you have to do is embed the URL. So I just went to the conference page, copied the URL, pasted it, and you run the code. Oh, well, that worked last night. So that's what it's going to look like when it doesn't work. I'm not entirely sure like the computer science behind why sometimes it works. I mean, I'll embed my presentations and it's pretty seamless. So I'm going to try that. Like I said, it's kind of hit or miss. I've used like Time Magazine URLs, like the website, just to have it available for my students. So this is what it looks like. And I'm not really sure what happens if it's like with the like security of the website and stuff like that. So it is helpful to kind of get all this done, you know, before class. This is what I do first thing in the morning is I set up my classroom screen so that all of the tabs and all of the websites I'm going to use are in one place. But it worked on my presentation. So all I had to do was go to my presentation, copy the URL, and I went ahead and pasted it in. And now I can access my presentation from ClassroomScreen and present from here. And so this is really helpful so that I'm not constantly having to go back to my desk. You know, we're always supposed to be in the power zone. And my students love to use that time that I take to go to my desk and get to the next website and get to the next tab, you know, to get their phones out or to start talking or to get off task. So this is really helpful in just being able to, you know, use my clicker to move to the next page and have it there ready. And all I have to do is open up the slideshow and I'm back at my presentation, which is super awesome. And like I said, you do have to kind of mess around with the websites. I do know that PSJA, I think it's because I did sign out of my Microsoft account here before I started the session. So that might have something to do why the link didn't work, but you kind of just want to play around with the content that you're utilizing so that way you're not having to, you know, copy and paste and mess with broken links as your students are waiting. But it is really helpful in kind of displaying information. I've been able to put articles and scroll through the articles. I put my slideshows, Google Documents that I create, any type of content that I want to display to my students. So I really do like the embedded link here. Now, this is getting a little, I only have 2 up here, but since I do have my team's little box here, I'm going to open up just another page just to just try out a couple more widgets. Alrighty, and I hope I'm not going too fast. I don't see any hands going up or anything like that. So, okay, I see Liliana de Leon. Do we create one per day? Does it have feature to store them? So with the free version, you do have to create them on a daily basis. The paid version, I will go over it in just a little bit, does allow you to save as many screens as you want, as well as class lists. And I'm going to, as soon as I get through these, I'm going to show you that. But yes, for the free version, as soon as you exit out of ClassroomScreen, it's not going to save that. But I will admit, I am a chronic tab opener, and sometimes I'll have like 30 tabs open because I grow a little bit of an attachment to them. So I have had a ClassroomScreen that lasted me about a week just because I didn't close the tab. Is that going to work every time? No, our internet comes in and out. I got very lucky that week, but not to say that it's impossible to kind of keep your ClassroomScreen content. And I'm going to show you how for half the year I kind of got around you know, the not being able to save my class lists and save like my prompts and stuff. I would kind of just create a Google Doc with that and just kind of transfer it. But I will go over all of the differences between the paid and the free version, kind of after I go through the free version of the widgets, because I know, as teachers, we are looking for any way we can make our class more efficient, but where we don't have to continue spending money. It is only a $30 per year subscription, which I found to be very worth it because I use it on a daily basis. But I'll get into those details again in just a bit. And so to get back to these widgets, to kind of finish off the direct teaching widgets, I finished with the embedded URL. And of course, there's like a webcam here if you're maybe having a guest speaker or something like that. I imagine this would have been a lot more helpful maybe in maybe the pandemic times when we were solely working through webcams and stuff, but I haven't utilized that one too much. Again, it comes with all of the same, you do have to allow to use your camera, but it comes with all the same customizations and settings to move it around and whatnot here. And then finally, you also can embed videos. And so for me, we do a lot of audiobooks. We do a lot of summaries in my class after maybe a reading homework assignment. And so if I just want to prepare for that, I'll go to YouTube, copy the link of the video that I want to use. More recently, we were reading Fahrenheit 451 in class, and on some days we would just listen to the audiobook. And so to have it here kind of just ready for us to use it whenever we need without having to go to YouTube and taking that extra step is always very efficient. And so you can play it straight from here.
451, the temperature at which book paper catches fire.
And so you can mess with the volume, with the video settings, and you can also, open up the settings here and kind of customize, not so much the color theme because the content is kind of all its own, but just if you want to spotlight the widget and kind of make it the focal point of your screen, and basically all the same settings that you get for all the other widgets. And so I use this one as well pretty much on a daily basis. I like to use, I like to listen to like those lo-fi hip hop streams as well. And so, just so I don't have to distract my students and just so I can continue utilizing this tool as we're working, I kind of just, if I want to listen to music that day, I'll have it ready and all of that saved up on my screen here. And then let's see, a couple more widgets here for the Direct Teach. And then I'll open it up to questions for Direct Teach before I get to the, and I kind of got to speed this up a little bit here. There is a hyperlink. And so this one is going to do this kind of what the embedded link does, which you'll go ahead and copy whatever website link you need. I'm going to use the PSJA Technology Conference again. And you can generate a link here just to go and open it up. So that is really helpful if you want to, if maybe one of the websites is not embedding, but you still want to have easy access to it. You can just go ahead and embed it, and it'll create just like a quick link to open it up to. I think I did skip over the QR code, so I want to go back to the QR code because this is also insanely important for giving your students any content or directing them to any type of activity that they might use, Kahoot, anything like that. And so what you'll do is the same thing. You'll copy in a URL for whatever website, link, anything you want them to access. Go ahead and embed it on ClassroomScreen, and it'll generate the QR code. And so if you guys want to try it right now, hovering it over it with your camera, it'll open up. And you're on the technology conference. And so a lot of it is just copying down the URL. It makes it really easy, for those of us, myself included, that I'm not really great with technology. And, sometimes I'm even asking my students to help me out a little bit. But this is all very user friendly, and it just, allows you to kind of put everything you need for the day all in one place. And so this is really great. It also generates QR codes for like any other, I'm not sure what that is, any other thing you might need. And so I tried to put one together before our time started to my presentation, but didn't have time for it, but it will create it. You can screenshot it and you can share it if need be. And it's kind of really helpful for any links you're trying to share. Alrighty, so so I think I am done with the direct teach. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a second before I get to the classroom management one. So let's see. I did answer that it's going to be one per day, but yes, it's super great for just having everything in one place when you're building a lesson. And so, you know, even if you're lesson planning that night before, you can keep that page open, and it'll kind of save all of those ideas for you. Now, I am going to go a little bit over. I'm going to switch over to the paid version. Just so you guys can see the same widgets, but just in a version of ClassroomScreen that allows you to save not only your screens but also your class lists. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to use my. I think it'll just automatically log me. Okay, nope. This is my personal account that I created to save all of my screens. And so let's see, can everyone see this new page that I got open here? Show thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, so this is what your screens will look like once they are saved. So as you can see, I started, back in December, I started paying for the subscription. It is $30 per year, so it's a one-time payment of $30. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to save your collections of screens. So I separate them by month. And I also separate them by like events. So we had a retester academy. I also presented for ClassroomScreen. So I have my old presentation on here, and just month to month, because I do tend to just leave the screens up and just edit them. That way I don't have a screen for every day of the year, right? And so it's really great to not only reuse information, like this is a day that we did centers. And so I had, you know, they walked in, they saw this screen with announcements, and once we got started, I had all of the stations they were going to be at, all of the instructions they needed, and I had a timer open. And I'll get into the widgets and stuff I use for classroom management in just a second. So this is what it looks like, and this is one of just basically like two differences in the paid and the free version. So in the paid version, you save your screens and you also save your list. So here at the top, you have a couple different options here, and you can go to your names list. So I do have mine saved, so I'm not going to show all of my students' names, but what's great is it saves all of your lists. So I have 6 classes. It's kind of hard for me to come up with different cold calling methods, but what's great is ClassroomScreen has a bunch of cold calling methods that classroom management, like cold calling tools that'll like kind of pick your student names. And so I'm going to start with those. So I'm opening up a brand new screen. And what I'm going to show you now are the tools for classroom management. And so I'm going to start with the randomizer. So just so I can also show you what it looks like when it saves your list. So all of my lists are in one place here. And this is kind of how I label them. I'm going to have to take all of these off for next school year. But these, I just have my students' first names. And so this was a really small class. Let me use another class. I only had about 3 students at the end of the year within that class. So let me use one of my bigger classes. And so, you know, let's say we are popcorn reading, we're answering, you know, vocabulary questions or something like this. And I'm trying to, you know, call students at random. All I have to do is press the shuffle. Hold on, let me see. And it will shuffle through my student names and pick a random student. And that way students see that it's fair. I did do like the popsicle sticks, and they were colorful. So my students were like, Miss, you always pick the purple ones. And they're right. I do love the color purple. So this kind of keeps teachers accountable for evenly distributing the cold calls around the classroom. There's a couple other ones that utilize this. There's the group maker. And so this one also takes kind of a long time, making groups, randomizing, making sure students aren't sitting with their best friends or people they like to talk with a lot. And so you can select how many, what students, let's say, Abel's not here today, I'm going to take him out, so that way he's not put into the groups. Again, this is the paid version. You aren't able to access these lists on the free version because you cannot save the lists. And so you choose the number of groups. Maybe I want 5 per group, and I want it to be extra large font so that students can see it, and I'll even change the color. And so it's going to shuffle up the groups, and maybe you see, I know Esmeralda and Vivian, they talk too much, I don't want to group them together, just shuffle them again. And you're like, you know what, Antonio and Cesario, they work really well together, so I want to lock them into the same group. But you know what? I'm going to continue shuffling because we got a lot of talkers together, and it will continue shuffling until you have your groups the way you want them. And of course, you can make them smaller so that they're easier to see. And you just post that up, and students don't even question it. Get into your groups and get your task started. And it's that easy. And so I really love this. It's really taken all the stress out of creating groups, and even, last minute, you know what, we should do this in groups. I forgot. Let me do the group maker really quick. It makes it so easy. You can do it in a minute. And let's see, as far as using your classroom list, that's about it. And so those are the major differences, I would say, in the paid and the free version. You can save your backgrounds, you can save your lists. The way I got around it for half a year was I would put my list on a Google Doc and I would just copy paste. So if it's not something that you can, pay for right now, and or you don't really want to spend the money on it because, it's just a tool and you want to, spend your money on you the way I tell myself I'm going to do this year, you can kind of just save your lists and just kind of copy paste. I found that really easy as well. All right, so what is the traffic light feature? So I'm glad you're asking about it. Let me go through some of these. I got about 10 minutes, so let me go through some of these classroom management. So we'll start with the light feature. So this is great for maybe when you have your students in independent work or in groups, and you want to get their attention, or you want to make sure that you're sending a message to them, but not disturbing the work that's getting done. And so you can tell them, you know what, green means you're working. So when the green light is on, you're working, stay in your station, stay at your desk, you're working. Yellow, you're free, you're free to get up, move around the room. Working can stop, or working can slow down. And red means stop what you're doing, eyes on me, attention up here. What I really love about this widget is the sound. So if you crank that volume all the way up and you have your speakers connected, students are listening for this sound, and you don't even have to, do the give me 5 or all eyes on me. It kind of just wakes them up and says, okay, what am I doing next? And it's going to take a little while. You have to spend that first 2 weeks to a month to get the students used to it. But I really like how a lot of these classroom management widgets do have sound to kind of alert the students to what's going on in front. So this is great for kind of giving them a work signal. Let me go a little bit more through here. There's a poll here. I'll go through this very quickly. So the poll is kind of like a Kahoot. You give them a code. They join up here at the top, joincrs.com. It gives them a code, and you, in the settings, create your questions. So let's say you want to ask them how they're feeling today, what they think of today's lesson. You give them the answer choices. Maybe you only want to, give them 3 answer choices. Don't complicate it too much. And then you can also change how you take the poll, and obviously customize what the poll looks like. And then you can see down here, I've made a custom theme before and it saved it for me. And so that's what it kind of looks like when you're creating your custom theme. And it saves it all there. I'm just going through these a little quickly because I do want to show you all the classroom management tools here. And so you display that, the students answer, and then their results come in here, and you can display the results once you see how many students or how many students you want to show up there. So that's the poll. We have a sound level, a noisemaker. So I had a little trouble yesterday because since my audio is going on in here, I don't know if it's like not picking it up here, but this is pretty great for when you do have centers or you have your independent work. You turn on your audio and it moves a little bar and it makes a little like beeping sound. Let me see. I think you can actually change the sounds of the noisemaker. So when they're getting too high, it's going to make that noise for them. If the noise level is getting too high, and it kind of keeps their noise level in check. The only thing is that I had a lot of talkers this year, a lot of loud, passionate talkers, and you know, I allow them to get loud. I'm pretty loud, and so that thing was dinging off the entire class period. But this is great for, you know, when you have your, you know, silent reading or any type of independent work that you want to keep the class quiet, and you want to keep the noise level low. You kind of decide where you want your noise level to be. But I noticed that when I'm in my Teams meeting, it doesn't pick up my audio. When I'm off of it and just working on it my own, it does. But that was kind of an issue I was having. But that's a really fun one. My students did enjoy that. They messed around with it a little bit. I'm glad you guys are liking these features. And the great thing is that all of the widgets are on the free version and on the paid version. You got your clock, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can make it big and digital or analog or both. So that's really great. There's also a visual timer. So let's say they're doing a do now. You want to give them 10 minutes. You go ahead and start it. If you want to customize a little bit, you know what, actually 15 minutes. And then I want it to repeat and I want it to make a sound. All really customizable options. Again, you can customize the background. I'm going to go ahead and get a new background going just so we don't get too cluttered on here. Let's see some of my other really good ones we got our stopwatch. You know, that's great for any activity where you're timing them. This is the event countdown I was talking about earlier. So if you saw on the one I displayed in my presentation, I had a countdown to the STAR test, but now in the new widgets they rolled out, they now have an event countdown. So let's say I want to put a countdown to the first day of school because that is coming up pretty soon. You just put the event name and you put what day it's gonna be on. August 28th. It's kind of small. Hold on, let me make it a little bigger. For some reason, it's coming out. Here we go. 28th. Oh, weird. I don't know. Okay. Oh, how lucky. Okay. And it kind of creates, I wanted to go through this one because it's a new widget and I was like, oh my God, how awesome. And so if you're saving your pages, that countdown will continue going. So that's really awesome. I loved that new widget that they came out with. The other brand new one, if you came to my session a few months ago, they didn't have that one or the visual timer. So it's kind of nice that they're, you know, looking for different ways to innovate our classrooms. As we go. There's work symbols. These are really great as well for independent practice. So if you want silence, if you want them to whisper but work together, if you want them to be talking to their neighbor and discussing, you put these up so that, you know, it's never a question of what are we doing? They can always look at the board. The students that are walking in late can just kind of see what's going on and kind of gather, you know, from everything you've kind of put up there for them already. And so I am coming in on, well, I think, no, are we here till 11:30 or 11? Okay, I'm going to close up, and so that way I can open it up for questions. But like I said, all of the widgets are very user-friendly. They're in the paid version, there is no limit to how many pages you can create and save. But on the free version, it's just as expensive. You can make a bunch of pages and keep that page open as long as you can. Like me, I am a chronic tab opener, and so I get a little attachment to these pages. But I do think it's worth it. I'm not sponsored by Classroom Screen, but I tell all of my coworkers about it. My parents, they're both educators as well, and I'm like, you guys have to use this. It's amazing. It just makes everything so simple. And for me as a new teacher, having all of my stuff ready to go in one page just really makes me feel prepared, for the lesson, and for all the technical issues that are going to happen anyway. It's just nice to kind of narrow it down to just one place. So, yeah, that is Classroom Screen. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here so I can actually, no, I'm going to show you all now the resource page, just so you guys know how to um, get to that and what they look like here. Let's see. Alrighty, so on the last page here on my presentation. Sorry about that. I have some helpful links. So that first one is going to take you to the Classroom Screen website. In this little circle here, you'll see how can we help? And so that's the FAQ, like the help page. Any question you might have, they're going to have it on there. And it has a bunch of helpful links about every single widget they offer, every customization, anything you might need, it's there. And obviously you guys have me as a resource. I use this on a daily basis. I'm by no means an expert, but I would love to help you guys implement this in your classroom and help you in any way that you need, to kind of integrate this into making it a better experience for you and your students. And the last link there is a little bit more about their website, about their startup, as well as a support link. And so that's where you can send them a ticket, ask them a question, and they're really good at getting back to you. It seems like they really care about their teachers. I love that they offer this as a free resource for teachers. I do think it's great paid, and I think it's worth the money, but you guys use it as you need. Let's see.